Kaiju hunt.
Oh my god.
We got our binoculars. We got our warships and our submarines.
What a beautiful day.
What a beautiful day. We gotta go to Tokyo. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. We gotta go through it.
That's the Godzilla way.
Except in this movie, they don't go to Japan.
I mean, they're in an island off Japan.
Yeah.
They're at Monster Island, right? Or Monster Land, I think is what they end up calling it.
Yeah, but it has a different name in this movie.
I know in my movie coming up, I did change movies. We'll get to that in a minute. But in my movie, they call it Monsterland. But anyhow, hi and welcome Behind the Hype. I'm your host as always, Brian Dressel. With me as always is Chewy Darso.
Hello.
And Jonathan Hardesty.
Yeah.
Week 2 of Toho Showa Era Godzilla movies. And Chewy picked a doozy of a film.
It's a great movie.
Is it?
It is.
It's a very enjoyable movie. Great is a strong word.
It is a very unique Godzilla movie.
Unique is a great word to describe Son of Godzilla. So before we get too far into it, I do want to mention that I have decided to change my answer because at the end of last week I might have mentioned that there might have been a direct sequel, All Monsters Attack, and Destroy All Monsters would be the original. And after doing a little bit of research, it seems like that's probably where I'd rather spend my time. So we're going to do that one instead.
Okay.
Just so everybody's aware, if you're going to keep watching ahead with us, that's the one to watch next, because I come before Mecha Godzilla. So now we're done with bookkeeping and all the important stuff that everybody does in the beginning of their podcast. Mm-hmm. How's everybody doing? Are we enjoying week 2 of Godzilla month?
Of course.
Yes, I am.
I always forget how corny this movie is, but I love it.
I was not ready for how corny this movie was.
I always remember it being corny, but it's so its own thing.
I've rang that bell so many times, and you're always leaping to the defense of the film. If it's not that bad, I'm like, the movie is a Looney Tunes cartoon. Like it's just insane.
It's great.
I don't know if it's great. We keep saying great. I'm gonna go with it's very entertaining.
Using that word.
Because I'm not sure if great movies
I love it.
Have animals poking a baby for like 5 minutes of screen time in your hour and 20-minute movie.
Hey.
Yeah, they poke that baby for a long
They're
time.
praying mantises.
They just keep poking the baby, and he's just like, "Nah, I don't like it." And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna keep poking you." It's like, stop it. Like, nah.
I mean, to be fair, with the first child at the hospital, you are kind of like poking at it a little bit, be like, is it alive?
Are
they alive?
Gonna do?
Can I hold it? I remember I even asked a nurse if I could hold my own son, and she just looked at me like I was a crazy person. Like, yes, he's yours. I have no say in the matter.
I don't want him.
We had to be told that we could put our baby down. Let's set them down on the cribs. Like, oh, you can let go of them. Oh, okay.
Oh, they won't catch on fire? I'm pretty sure they catch on fire. I read that on Reddit.
The nurse says you can put him down. John goes, okay, puts him on the floor, walks out, and never comes back.
You can put him down. All right, drops him hard on the floor. See ya, you got this, right? That is much more the Godzilla way of parenting.
Godzilla is a slightly attentive parent, but also...
He's a tough love.
A little... I don't know, abusive.
Go with tough love.
He does the backhand.
He's the parent of a second child.
He doesn't actually use the backhand,
but he does it.
He does threaten the backhand.
Yeah, he's a parent of a second child. Like, already got through all the awkwardness and worry, and now it's like, I'm tired of this shit. You get with it. You get with the Godzilla-ing, or
fall in or fall out.
Right.
And we keep saying he, which is one of the big things with this movie. Even as a child, I was like, does this mean Godzilla's a girl? Because
they are very clearly saying he. Or at least we had to watch the dub version again, but they say he throughout the entire thing.
I don't care how many times they say he. The implications are she, or at least
they.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to the age-old standard of Roland Emmerich's Godzilla, because that's where we should base all of our opinions.
They ended up saying that it was a female.
They just said pregnant. And then they just said that it's the species that, like, when pushed into a corner, kind of like Jurassic Park. That movie just ripped off Jurassic Park a whole bunch.
But in Jurassic Park, they clearly say that they change sexes.
Yeah.
Right. So when pushed into a corner, you just decide to have a baby. I get
Yeah.
it. Like I'm
Yeah.
freaking out. You're cornering me. Oop, there it is.
Oh, now so much responsibility.
I still stand by it. There's a good chance we've all been wrong this entire time, and Godzilla's a woman, which, explains the constant vengeance.
I mean, that's true. And then, the hell hath no fury. And it's
Yeah.
like, woof.
God damn it, Tokyo!
Godzilla is pissed. All right, so we're dancing around the movie, but let's at least frame what we're talking about. Showa, can you do the briefest of brief breakdowns? There's not a lot to talk about in this thing,
All right.
unless you really want to spend time harping on the humans that I forgot
very-
everything about.
At the very beginning, you are with some guys in a helicopter, and I don't know, they're just having troubles. And while they're having troubles flying, they see, I think they're in a helicopter. No, they're on a plane. Whatever. They see Godzilla, and they're like, "Oh no, Godzilla!" And then they fly away and be like, "Wait, was that Godzilla? I don't know, but it seemed like he was really intent on going that one direction." Cut to some dudes on an island. They see some other people parachuting, or just one guy parachuting down. And it turns out he's a journalist, and he's like, "What are you guys doing on the island?" We're scientists.
You got a story, huh? Give me a story.
They're like, "We can't
As
tell
you
you,
do.
but you can be our cook." And he's like, "Oh, I guess so." So they just bring this journalist in as their personal cook. So I guess slave. And they're like, "So we're scientists, and we're going to learn how to control the weather, but we're really nervous about getting into the wrong hands." We're not the wrong hands. And in the process of that, something goes awry when they try their first test, and they end up essentially burning this island to a crisp with radioactive energy.
Oops-a-daisy.
But it rebounds. Their stuff just gets kind of weird. The forest and everything is still there. The praying mantises that were just human-sized before are now Godzilla-sized.
Yeah, they were annoyingly big before, and now they're scarily big.
And a dude sees a pretty lady, and he wants to help that pretty lady, and the pretty lady is like, "I can help you guys too." And they go hide in her cave, and then Godzilla comes and decides to be a parent of non-binary intentions or something.
I guess.
I don't know.
I mean, there really is just kind of an egg pops up out of
An
the ground.
egg comes out of the ground, and it's a baby Godzilla, and Godzilla's got to be a parent.
Yep.
So Godzilla defends baby Godzilla, and there's some fighting, there's some teaching, and it turns out the best way to teach is with the threat of physical violence.
Yep.
And in the end, the scientists figure out how to make it cold, and they're able to run away from a giant spider, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Except it looks like they're freezing Godzilla with his son in their arms. And
Oh, it's very Pompeii at the end.
yes, baby Godzilla
Yeah.
does not like the cold. It's really quite sad looking. And then Godzilla just comes over and hugs them. And you really kind of feel like they're just dying. And the scientists are just going, "Oh, that's cute."
Yeah, I mean, but it is
it's
one of those things where, like, Godzilla, it's another teaching moment. Godzilla's like, "Look, we freak humans out, and they freeze us every now and then. It's going to be fine. We just take a little nap, we're going to wake up and destroy Tokyo again."
That's the basics of this movie. And inside of that is a lot of great kaiju, B-movie, monster movie schluck. And it's great.
So, painting with the brush from last week, where we mentioned that these human stories are important, at least a little bit. They get you into the movie, because if it was all kaiju all the time, it might get a little dull. Now, that said, compared to last week, which already didn't have the best human story, I could give less of a fuck about this one. and I think that really...
I love Professor Kazumi and the fact that he always has a pipe in his mouth, but he
Right.
never looks
It's
like
never
it's
lit.
Yeah.
a pipe that's never lit, just kind of like there.
No, I think the characterization's cool. I think they're fine, but the whole story of them controlling the weather, like, this one felt more of a bullshit, like, they need to be on an island for reasons. Look, guys, we're here to watch Son of Godzilla. Like, yeah, they're doing stuff, and we'll spend 20 minutes or so with them, but that's it. And I kind of care about the human story about as much as the movie did, which is to say, like, not. I think they did a fine job, but we're here for the spectacle of baby Godzilla. And
Yeah.
at least for my money, it doesn't pay off in the way that, like, I'd normally want a movie like this to pay off of, which whenever I see, like, Son of is usually like, well, that's going to suck.
He's cute.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's sort of cute in the sort of like when you think your child looks cute at first, and then everyone's like, "Yeah,
They're adorable.
they're
Yeah.
adorable." Wink, wink.
I love.
He looks like a deshelled Ninja Turtle. Like it's just
But
weird.
he has the cutest little happy dance. Whenever he gets really excited, he rubs his belly. And if he's about to do something, he rubs his thighs. Like, he's a very, like, touchy-feely dinosaur, Godzilla, kaiju.
I mean, there's things that are entertaining about him. Like, I feel like I'm going to come across really harsh on this movie, and I really don't mean to, because I do enjoy the hell out of watching it. Like, it's just an aggressively entertaining film once it gets there. The human stuff really kind of drags this one down for me. Like, that kind of really zoned me into this.
I can agree with that. I think there are a few points where it was like, okay, they're overstaying their welcome a bit with the point. We get the point that, okay, they are sweltering. They have a heat fever. This is about the third or fourth scene where they have heat fever. Cool. Like, let's get to it. Like, because you know, there's the spider or whatever it is coming up. They've hinted at stuff happening at the end here, and it does seem like, compared to the last one, that you're kind of looking at your watch a little bit. Not to say that I think the reporter landing on the island and becoming a cook, I think his whole shtick is hilarious.
He hams it up so much.
He hams it up, and just the idea of a journal. Could you imagine Lois Lane dropping in on a planet being like, you got no job for me? I guess I'm going to cook. Like,
I don't even remember the explanation of him knowing that they're there.
No, I don't remember that either. He just kind of shows up like, tell me what's going on. They're like, no. Okay, but can I be your cook?
And then we're going to tell you everything.
School. You take a walkabout around the world, right? And you just fly around on a plane and land on islands and hope that you get a story.
Yeah, you just land on a story, pull out a microphone, start quoting Jesus Christ Superstar. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz?
That's journalism.
I just took you to journalism school.
Now pay us $50,000.
And he's just kind of immune to everything. They never explain when he comes back, when they're like screwing up their experiment and they fry the island. He's just there when it's done.
Yeah, he was outside.
They don't show him coming back. He could have been out there the whole time.
Yeah, he's
just
just
tropical shirts. Those things are so cool. They are too cool.
And he doesn't get the heat stroke that everyone else gets when they go to the cave.
No, he's just got the power of journalists.
Fine. Yeah.
Journalists are unbelievably powerful when it comes to tropical weather and man-made radiation weather. Like,
that just tracks. That's just science.
That's the science that they're operating off of here. I'll smoke my pipe to that.
But like, the human story aside, I mean, I will agree with you guys. The journalist is fantastic, and he's just hilarious. But like, when this movie does get going, like when the gargantuan praying mantis start cracking the egg open, from that moment on, like, it's kind of like, if you're not enjoying this movie, that's on you, man. Like this movie's doing everything it can to keep you entertained.
Oh yeah, especially with the way the score is working with the humans. The score to this was probably the biggest surprise for me, especially in tandem with the really the journalist guy, the score, and just how this felt like so chipper and cheerful as oh my god, this egg is being ravaged by mantises.
But like, kind of, it's getting tapped on by mantises, and then when it hatches, they're just like, we're just gonna poke them. Are you gonna eat them or hurt them or anyway? Nope, you're gonna poke them.
It implies that they're gonna start chewing at them when they do like the punch-ins to the mandibles.
But then when it pulls back out, they're still just poking them.
Yeah.
I guess there are limitations to the effects, but
there's
still.
limitations to these outfits. I mean, the moment Godzilla just pulls like wrestling moves on them, where he picks them up and drops them on their backs and just flopping about.
I loved that. I just, with his fierce kick from the last movie, I wasn't sure how they were going to go with this, with Godzilla fighting other monsters. And I've generally been curious how they were going to approach it, but I did not expect like WWE. Like, just I have expected him to jump up on a chair or toss a chair at them, or shout Godzilla for "Here's John Cena."
He does a full elbow drop on one of the praying mantis.
Godzilla's eyes in this movie, they're like so... He looks high the whole time.
When I first saw them in the very intro that you mentioned, I kind of did a laugh out loud gasp, because I was like, these eyes.
In the previous movies, he kind of has a snarl look to his eyes, like where they're a little like clenched. But this one, they're just wide open the whole time.
Yeah,
again, relatable as a parent.
Don't take your eyes off of them. Especially if they have atomic breath powers.
Or if they're just taking fruit from strangers. Stop taking the fruit from the strange lady, honey.
She's got a hell of an arm, and she's an incredible shot. Let her give the fruit to the dinosaur. Sorry, kaiju. I'm gonna keep saying dinosaur. But
it's all right, son. Go over to that strange woman who can make weird sounds. She's going to give you strange fruit. It's okay. We'll let you be.
You'll be fine.
It's one of those first things as a parent. You teach your kid to not take treats from strangers.
You'll be fine. And he is fine.
It's okay. There's a journalist. She's got a journalist with her. It's fine.
Yeah. Don't you know? Journalism makes everything okay. But the praying mantis thing is fine. Like I enjoy it. I really enjoy the wrestling moves. I enjoy everything that comes after it. I think is as much as I enjoy that stuff, everything that I think that comes after it is what makes me love the movie. Like the spider fight is fine. It's kind of a cool. It's a really cool like effect. I like the design of like the costume / puppetry, all that. It's a really good looking freaky spider thing.
Mm-hmm.
The constant webbing is a little annoying. I don't like that
He never
sound
runs
effect.
out of webbing.
Never runs out of webbing, which is fuck. I don't know anything about spiders. I don't know if they do run out of webbing or not. So I guess I can't push too much there. But the shot and just the way that it like just sprays everywhere and it almost looks like it's snowing. There's just something about it kind of annoyed
looks like
me.
String cheese in a little
Yeah.
bit.
But it was one of those things where like, how mad do I want to get about this? Not at all. Okay, fine. That's great.
It's fine.
But for me, the meat of this movie is the parenting montage of Godzilla like trying to teach him how to like use his atomic fire breath and threatening with the backhand, all that stuff. Like I could watch that scene. I mean, it's probably like maybe 10 minutes long, over and over and over and over and over. It's adorable and funny and kind of everything I want from a movie called Son of Godzilla.
Well, it's such a sweet moment. I mean, it's again using physical violence, where in order to get the baby Godzilla to fully use his blast,
Atomic breath,
he has to stomp his tail. Godzilla just stomps his kid's tail.
He's like, do it. He blows a bubble.
Yeah.
Do it. Another bubble.
All right, I'm going to stomp on your tail.
I'm going to stomp on your tail.
Yeah. But after that, just the look on baby Godzilla's face to be like, ah!
He's so proud of himself. And I love the way he like jumps when he does it.
I think he's scared of it at first.
Yeah.
Like he's scared of like, I did that. Oh my God. And
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, it's a good little moment. Like you feel like the point of pride and Godzilla's just filled with so much pride at that moment, he decides to take a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Godzilla does take a lot of naps in this movie. It is just kind of like if he's not on screen, what's he doing? He's just over in that pile of dirt napping.
No, it's exhausting to be a radioactive kaiju.
And a parent.
Yeah.
A parent no less. Like to tell you that I'm gonna sound like a broken record saying that I relate to that scene that we're talking about right now so hard because after like interacting and teaching, it's like, you know what? I'm tired. I want to lie down for a little bit. Oh, I can't lie down? You're going to jump on my tail or my back or my knees or my knees or
run,
you know.
Run down word. Not a crevasse. A careen down a cliff or whatnot and get stuck with a giant spider.
Yeah. I mean, all that sort of shit.
Don't run away.
Yeah. So I want to sleep, kid. I want to, like, come on. Just let me sleep. Thank you. And then as a parent, when you open your eyes and they're fully open, that happens. It's just, that scene is such a delight. I think out of this whole experience, I wasn't expecting the amount of delight from every moment. Because I know we mentioned the human story was okay, it's fine, but after this point, just the creatures were so fun. Everything was funny and like the puppets were so tactile and everything was just so cheesy, but I don't know. I was grinning just uncontrollably grinning throughout this whole section from here on out in the movie.
Yeah, it is definitely one of those ones where like once it gets going, it really gets going. But it is kind of like it's a little unfortunate that we have this feeling of like it needs to get going. The movie's an hour and 24 minutes long. Like it's not a long sit by any means, but you still feel that first half. Like it's like, okay, yeah, this is good, but we know what's coming, and can we just maybe get there?
We get there.
And once we do, it's great. And then I don't mind sitting the front again. But the front part is the main reason I haven't watched this movie 10,000 times, and I've only seen it, a handful.
It would
of
be
times.
fun to try to like check their science. Be like, what are all these words they're saying, and do any of them make sense?
I mean, they could have just said flux capacitor 300 times, and it made just as much sense.
Yeah, that balloon up there, 1.21 gigawatts.
Again, the miniatures were amazing.
So good.
I love the towers
exquisite.
they made with the whatever spray coming out of them.
Oh, like it's not poison, but it's like
I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember what it is, but yeah, it looks great. So much of this movie looks good. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, this is a very ridiculous cheese ball of a movie where, like, at this point, like, I don't remember how many movies are before this one, but this is far and away the first, like, oh, Godzilla's just a big softie. Like, before this, they're all, like, versus movies or, like, a big monster coming from space. And this one's like, nah, he's a papa. Look at Papa Godzilla.
You get that a little bit in Invasion Astro Monster, I believe. Where he has to do the dance.
Oh, yeah.
That's in that one, right?
That's in that one where he does
the bouncy dance to defend Japan.
Whatever the fuck that was. I almost picked that movie just to go back to that dance sequence.
Taking notes here, A dance to save. Okay.
Back to the miniatures, though. One of my favorite moments is when the girl, Seiko, is throwing fruit at baby Godzilla, and, parent Godzilla shows up, and she has to leave. So then you cut back into the wide, and in the corner, you see just this little stick doll
I saw that,
doing a back and forth, going through the bushes, trying to leave. And it's like, all this... It's
so good.
All
so
of
good.
the miniatures stand up so well, and then you just like,
I'm
they can't,
so sad I missed that.
They can't miniaturize people.
It was hilarious because I happened to be looking kind of downward at around that time, and I saw that, and I was like, oh my god, this doesn't pass any sort of muster at all.
Because at that point, you're supposed to just be looking at Godzilla. But so it's just
I was looking at Godzilla. I missed the stick figure. I'm so disappointed in myself.
Oh, it's just... It's
we
so
have to
unrealistic.
rewatch it.
It's great.
We'll rewatch it later. What haven't we talked about in this one? We mentioned the score is ridiculous and fun.
Yeah.
Son of Godzilla is fun. I guess we didn't really talk about the design of Son of Godzilla. I made the joke earlier that he looked like a de-shelled Ninja Turtle.
You're not wrong. He has a Ninja Turtle vibe, but more of the Ninja Turtles from like the TV show when they had the animatronics.
Oh God, yeah, that's a meaner shot than I meant to take at it.
But it
but
has a
you're
similar
not wrong.
look.
Yeah,
and for some reason, he just looks pretty gross when he gets out of the egg, of course, because he's covered in stuff.
He's freshly born. No judgments there.
I like that once it got away from the mantises and, latched on to parent Godzilla's tail and went away to whatever. The next time
I love that he rides his tail.
Yeah, I mean that
so
makes sense.
Cute. It does. It's just adorable.
When you get back to him, he's able to stand on his hind legs, and he has more of the like scales or plates on his back. Like you can tell that he's growing up pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool little touch, and I just kind of like that they really played him like a child. Like it was
so childlike.
Yeah, it wasn't like one of these like, oh, he's just a young version of Godzilla. It's like, no, Godzilla now has a human toddler who happens to look like a lizard. And I don't mean that as like a knock against the movie. I actually think that's part of why the movie is as charming as it is. Because if we just saw, a baby Godzilla being a baby Godzilla, I'd be like, okay, cool. Look at him smash trees. I guess that's cool. But we didn't get that. We got, I don't know how to walk yet, and I just want my papa to love me. And it's like what Chewie said earlier. Like his little like happy dances reminds me of my son's happy dances, and it's like I shouldn't be relating to this the way that I am, but it just works.
Even when the first time they decide to go to sleep together, baby Godzilla cuddles up next to Godzilla and just kind of forces his way around Godzilla's arms and grabs his hand, and he's just like, I'm gonna cuddle on you.
Yeah, like the idea to go human child versus kaiju child, really, I think that's what makes the movie the wholesome kind of like grin factory that it is.
Yeah, even the moment where Godzilla showcases his breath, and it startles the child, and he kind of runs up to him to hug him, just in a panic. Like the fearfulness of this power. I don't know. Everything about the physicality of Baby Godzilla like was believable and so expressive. Like, I was genuinely surprised.
Yeah,
I mean, we joke about the relating to it as parents, but you spend a long time looking at child movements, your own kids' movements as they navigate the mess of a house, falling over, running around, and just everything in his movement was so accurate. For something that's such a caricature, this actually was very realistic. It was very interesting.
Yeah, it's just kind of interesting and fun, and it's just one of those things where, like, you have to realize, sitting here, like, as a sober mind, somebody went into an office and pitched this movie. They sat down across from somebody who had money and they had none and went, this is the film I'd like to make. I'd like to make a movie about the son of Godzilla who will fight praying mantises and a big spider, and he'll blow bubbles, and it's going to be really cute and adorable. And somebody had to go, cool. Like, the fact that that ever happened is just amazing to me. But to see the end product and to know that that person made the right decision nearly every time for a movie like this it's just kind of like enjoyable. Like, I like seeing something that shouldn't work at all, even on paper, and it still kind of clicks when you watch it. It's like, wow, this is the right people were involved at the right time to make the right movie. And it's just like, as a film nerd, I love it when it comes together.
So I'm just reading the Wikipedia a little bit, and Son of Godzilla's name is Manila, or sometimes referenced as Minya in the American dubbed versions. And it says adopted son of Godzilla. Or Godzilla is the adopted father.
I mean, he did just kind of like stumble upon an egg and went, child.
So that ruins some of the gender ideas.
It doesn't have to. We still don't have a definitive answer either
Yeah.
way. If you feel that
It's also
Godzilla's a woman,
Wikipedia.
fight your fight.
It's also a Wikipedia article. Give us 5 minutes and we can make it right.
Yeah, Godzilla, real father, or real mother to the child. Shove it, Wikipedia. Taking a real hard stance against Wikipedia this episode. That's where I'm putting my energy. Is there anything else that we've really missed on this episode, or do you think we could start moving into our favorite moments?
One last maybe little note, just from
Yes.
someone who hasn't seen these, coming from King Kong versus Godzilla, is just a jump in terms of the ambition of the monsters and the puppetry and all that, from filming an octopus on a back plate, and making do versus
Hey, that
puppetry.
looked awesome, and they had the awesome tanks in it too.
Yeah, no, all that stuff. But seeing just a kind of a growth in style, like in not quality, because the original wasn't bad. Just to see it kind of grow with the time and the technology kind of keeping up. I don't know. It was very interesting to see a progression, which is good that we're watching these in order, because I'm getting a sense of history watching this. That's also very beneficial.
I would say, to kind of build on what you're saying, not necessarily grow in quality or grow in anything like that. I'd say it's grown in personality. Like, it's definitely from the part 3, which is where we were with Godzilla versus King Kong, or King Kong versus Godzilla. I never remember which way that's supposed to be. To this one, like, there's been like 5 or 6 movies in between those two, whereas the other one was the third one in the franchise. So, like, this movie, like, this franchise has had a lot of time to really kind of grow and become something that it is by the time that we're seeing it now, and then again next week. Because next week is the direct follow-up to this one. So that'll be interesting. They did change directors in between the two movies,
Yeah.
but yeah, pretty exciting. All right. Should we move into favorite moments?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
John, you ready for favorite moments?
I am.
What's your favorite moment?
I think that my favorite moment is probably the big moment in the movie. The big hell yeah moment where you jump out of your seat and fist pump like a crazy person. It's when father and son roast the shit out of Kumonga. Together they finally blast that thing. Because fuck spiders. Just fuck them. I hate them. But also, giant spiders and fantasy spiders can go just eat a big bag of death, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, double blast from the Godzilla pair. I don't know. It was perfect. It was heavenly. It was delightful.
I'm going to go in a completely different direction than that one. Still, obviously, the pair, because I'm not going to pick a human in any of these months. Or any of these weeks. I know what time is. I'm going to go for when Godzilla's like, "Sup? You're a baby. Well, I'm going to walk away now." And he's like, no. And he just latches onto his tail and he just rides away with him. It's just the idea of him riding.
Godzilla is a little sad.
It's so cute, and it's just like, okay, get on my tail. I guess we'll go learn how to be a kaiju. It's just like, I enjoy it. It's just like that warmed my heart. I just loved him riding the tail out. It's awesome.
My favorite part is Godzilla, the baby Godzilla, spewing. I never remember what to call
Atomic breath.
Atomic breath for the first time, and just the excited, scared nature of it.
The happy little dance. Yeah. Oh.
It's like when you show a kid fire for the first time and they're like, ah! Ah!
Yeah, the person in the suit, whoever was the son of Godzilla, fucking crushed the physicality of the role. Like, just crushed it.
Was... Marchin the Dwarf.
Well, way to go, Martin the Dwarf. You were awesome. Do not forget the rule for double features this month being no kaiju movies allowed. Double features.
I already have mine.
Oh, good, because I'm going to go in reverse.
Because I have a tie-in.
Oh, boy.
You remember that moment where Godzilla is looking at... what's the spider guy? Kumonga. He's looking at Kumonga. Kumonga's playing dead. He looks into Kumonga. You look back at Kumonga. You look down, you look up. You look down, you look up. Look down, look up. And then Kumonga blasts its like tooth spear thing into Godzilla's eye. And Godzilla's like, ah! How did I not see that coming? And I'm like, you know, that's a lot like that moment in God dang.
This buildup is killing me.
To Monty Python.
Oh!
Where Lancelot is running towards the castle. And
oh, yes.
Okay.
And it's like,
Yeah.
the guards are just like eating an apple. Is there a guy coming? Wait, is there a guy coming? And then bam, they're both stabbed. Hey! So, I think watching Son of Godzilla with Search for the Holy Grail would be a great little pairing.
I don't think you're wrong. Like that's one of the very few double features that we've come up with where I'm just not like, we're not trolling you. That'd be an actual pretty enjoyable double feature. That's a good one. Mine was not going to be nearly that good. Shit, I want to rethink mine now.
All right, well, I've got one that's
Please go.
It's dorky as all hell, but Baby's Day Out with this one.
where a baby befriends a gorilla and fights the mob? That
Yes.
movie? Is that the one you're talking about? Okay. just
Yes,
wanna make
that
sure.
is the one. Yes.
Because Chewie has not seen that movie, and I don't think believes me that it is a real movie.
I just can't believe that it got greenlit. Brian
there you go.
describes
See,
this
that's
thing to me.
someone sober walked into an executive's office and was like, a baby, a gorilla, the mob.
Like
And they're like, that's a go picture.
no,
Right.
This just sounds like a movie within a movie. Like the movie that plays on screen while the other hijinks in the real movie are happening.
It's like one of those
Right.
movies is like Will Ferrell is a failed actor in this movie, and the last movie that did him in was when he played the gorilla in Baby's Day Out.
Right. And it's just, yeah, there's a very similar humor into it that, I don't know, a similar charm and corniness that you couldn't watch both of those together and not just feel giddy and silly at the end of it.
So mine's a reach, and I apologize. And if anybody does this double feature, I apologize again. But my double feature is going to be the childhood classic of any kid who grew up in the 90s, Prehysteria. To wild applause.
I didn't see it.
John, did you see Prehysteria?
Is that the one with the claymation dinosaurs?
Yeah. So this is my
Oh.
thematic thing is somebody who never intended to be a parent is now the parent of a reptilian thing. That's about as close as I could get. So Prehysteria is about a kid who steals dinosaur eggs, I think again from the mob, that they hatch.
The 90s were weird.
They were weird.
The mob were everywhere.
The mob was into they were into dogs and Beethoven. They were into dinosaurs and Prehysteria, to fighting gorillas and Babies Day Out. The mob had some
humans and animals. Just the mob couldn't handle it.
No, they could not. But Prehysteria, so this kid has all these dinosaurs born, and he has to raise these dinosaurs as his children. And he's like, but I'm a kid, and these are dinosaurs. And, hilarity ensues. And 2 sequels.
Yes, 2 sequels. One every year. A sequel every year.
Why not? But yeah, so I think that those would go pretty well together, right? Maybe?
Yeah. No, I get it.
I haven't seen Prehysteria in a very long time. And I remember mentioning it to friend of the show, Elliot Campos, who did watch it and went, Brian, they didn't age well. So I have to thank Elliot again for watching them for me, so I didn't have to, and I can still remember them fondly. All right, I think we did it. We did the Son of Godzilla.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah. I've noticed that these, I don't think any movie this month is going to be a particularly long one, because these movies are all very short, and it's mostly just for the spectacle, so I don't mind being a little short on the episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's totally fine. Short and cute, like, Son of Godzilla.
Yeah, just like the movie.
Super cute.
So next week, we are actually going to watch a movie that I have not seen.
I don't think I've seen it either.
I have seen the sequel, and I don't remember it very well. But when I looked it up, I'm like, okay, so All Monsters Attack does appear to be a direct sequel to Destroy All Monsters. I could be wrong in that. I did not do that much research into it. But the long and short of it is, I wanted more people in more suits, and that appears to be Destroy All Monsters. Mm-hmm. Destroy All Monsters has King Ghidorah, Rodan, Mothra, Baby Godzilla, fucking tons of people, and they're all in suits, and I'm here for that. And that's really what I wanted. I wanted the most people on suits on screen at the same time, and I think I picked the right one.
I'm getting chills thinking about it right now.
That is all I know about this movie. I did watch the 5 fucking minute long trailer on IMDb before I picked it, and the trailer I think is just the first 5 minutes of the movie, where it's just a helicopter like, here we are at Monsterland. There is Godzilla. There is Rodan. There is... And it just goes on. It's like, okay, this is what I want to watch, but I hope it gets better.
This announcer is not as excited as we are.
Because I am excited for it. And I've never seen it, so, it's good for all. I don't think none of us have seen it, right?
No. Obviously not me. I'm excited. Just after these two. After one movie after the other so far has just been... Okay, I like that one. I like this one more. And I'm getting enjoyment in an increasing amount, and it's getting actually kind of exciting. This this might be my Avengers Assemble moment coming up. Who knows?
Who knows? But I'm excited. So please be sure to go check out Destroy All Monsters this week before next Thursday when we come back at you. And then the week after that, we're going... John, you're still sticking with Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that should be... that'll be a fun one, too.
I'm excited for that one too.
There are some really good movies coming up. I am excited. All right. Thank you everyone so much for listening. I was gonna do plugs, but I don't really, check out ATH.
Yeah.
You got this show, Damage Boost, Binge Buddies,
good stuff.
Demon Days. We got it all, right?
Yeah. ATHpod.com, bro. Get to it.
All right. Thank you everyone for listening. Those are the worst plugs we've ever done, but I'm fine with it. Bye.
Bye.
See you later, bozos.